Howdy, welcome back to Dion Talk. This is going to be a nice short live that I do on my phone where I probably won't answer questions in the live chat, but if you want your questions answered, I will answer questions in the comments below after the video. If you want your questions answered live, every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, I do live streams that last as long as the questions do. So if you want your questions answered live, see you next Tuesday. Social security. That's what I want to talk about today. For most of the people who watch my content, the idea and the decision is decades away for you. It's over a decade away for me. It's getting close though. But there's a couple things I want you to think about Social Security that matter when you're 18 or 48. Doesn't matter. The first thing to consider when it comes to Social Security for most of us is going to be, do I take it at age 62 or age 67? That's not the most important thing for Social Security for me. What I want to do with Social Security for most of you, the people who will watch this video, is to make you understand that it's possible for the average person to reach financial freedom in 10 years or less and make work completely optional, even if you're not starting from the best position. That's the purpose of my content. And doing that, the most important thing with Social Security is to make it not matter. You should not need it. You should not expect it. You should not factor it into your FI number. For some people at certain ages, nature's ring light. It's not going to be there. Or it's not going to be there to 100%, even if you wait till full age. So this is the thing a lot of people don't understand about Social Security, is you need to understand the difference between taking it at 62 and 67. And I actually want to give some credit where it's due to the person who brought up the idea of doing this video. It's from a channel that I watch, Joe Kuhn, K-U-H-N. He's actually one of the reasons why I think I retired early. I wasn't sure I was even going to retire late until I started watching his content. But he actually helped push me over the edge, and he did a video on when to take Social Security. And his math, because he is I believe, he works in a field where you use a lot of Lean Six Sigma and you're improving processes, so he tried to use the math to show that waiting till 67 is what made sense for him. Reaching financial freedom and using Social Security has something in common. There is no one right way, but there is a one right way for you. So what I'm going to do is talk about those two things. The first, make Social Security not matter. Reach financial freedom long before retirement age so that you can retire when you want to, or take a job you want because you love it, not because you need the money. And when it comes to taking Social Security, here's why I'm going to use math to disagree with Joe, who I actually respect and I actually want to do videos with him because he reached financial freedom using a completely different strategy than me. He used the bucket strategy with stocks. I used real estate, buy and hold long-term rentals, and I house hacked a couple of times. But here's how the math looks. And if you've never looked at Social Security before, because some of the people watching my content are a bit younger and maybe you haven't even thought about that yet, because you've heard it's probably not going to be there, so why bother? If you take it at age 67, that's considered full retirement age, so you get 100% of what you qualify for. If you take it early, the government is going to steal money from you, the person who's been saving into your Social Security account for all of those years of your life. And if you take it at age 62, they're going to take 30%. For most people now, if you're old enough to where you were born before I think like 65, they're only going to take 25%. But for most of the people that watch this content, they're going to take 30% of your money if you retire and take your Social Security at an earlier age, which I plan to do. Let me explain why. I'm going to use nice round numbers. Let's say you're doing your Social Security math, and hopefully you're going to get more than this, but let's say you qualify for $1,000 a month. Nice round number. There are people who make more, and there are people who make less. So for this math equation, we're actually going to use round numbers and kind of go with averages. For the $1,000 a month, if you wait till age 67, that's 100% of what you qualify for. So at age 67, you start getting a check every month for $1,000. If you take this at an earlier age, age 62, and you let the government steal that 30% that belongs to you, 30% of $1,000, the government is going to take their $300 from you. you're left with $700 a month from age 62 to age 67. $700 a month, $8,400 a year for 5 years. 62, 3, 4, 5, 66. So now at 67, you would start getting the $1,000. To get $700 a month from age 62, letting the government steal $300 a month from you. Sounds stupid. But $8,400 a year for 5 years is $42,000 that you receive that you wouldn't receive if you waited till 67. So one person starts at age 62, receives $42,000 by the time that they're 67, and then continues to get $700 a month. Yes, cost of living might impact Social Security, it might go up, but the other person who starts at 67 getting $1,000 starts $42,000 behind the 8 ball, they're behind the curve. How long does it take at $1,000 a month to make up for the $42,000 you did not receive because you waited 5 years to start your Social Security? You're going to get $1,000 a month instead of $700, so that's an extra $300 a month. 42,000 divided by 300 is something like 140 months, or 11.6 years. 11.6 years to break even. And there might have been a little math in the favor of this in 2019 or before, when the average life expectancy in the United States was 78.8 years. So if you retire at 67, getting full Social Security, and it takes you 11 years to just break even with where you would be if you took your Social Security earlier, you're now 77 years old. So you break even a little bit more than a year before the average life expectancy in the United States. Yes, women live a bit longer, men live a bit shorter, but this is the average across the board in the US. It can be different in different countries. So now, it's probably less if you're in your 50s and you play on slides. Since the pandemic that we can't mention on YouTube or they demonetize your channel, the average life expectancy in the United States has been reduced a little over 2 years to 76.6 years. So instead of 78.8, the average life expectancy now is 76.6. Less than the 11.6 years it takes to go from age 67 to breaking even on waiting to take your Social Security. So it's not that I expect to die young. I don't expect to live long. My parents had pretty long lives. Misadventure with my parents is just as likely to take me out. Miss you, Mom and Dad. That's the math for me. I'm going to start it at 62 because there is a lot of information encouraging you to wait until 67, because not only does the government get their $300 a month, but 12% of people die before retirement age, and the average person now is dying 2 full years before you would hit the break-even point on Social Security if you waited till 67 to take it. I hope that this helps you make a decision, because remember, there is no one right way for real estate, financial freedom, or choosing your Social Security, but there is a one right way for you. I hope I've at least made this a little bit entertaining for you. And again, if you want to see a live stream and get your questions answered during that live stream, I will see you next Tuesday. Until my next video, thanks for coming to my Dion Talk. And someday, I'm probably going to hurt myself on these slides, but not today. And my phone doesn't pay attention to me.